Let's face it, life be life NG. Your Wi-Fi cuts out during a Zoom interview. Your dog eats your DoorDash. And your brain decides 3 a.m. is the perfect time to replay every awkward thing you've ever said since 2008. In a world where chaos is basically a group chat you can't leave. Meet the ancient squad who figured out how to stay calm without meds, meditation apps, or rage posting on Reddit. Enter Stoicism, the ancient philosophy that said, hey, the world's on fire, but maybe you don't have to be. So what is Stoicism? Short version. It's not about being emotionless or turning into a rock with Wi-Fi. Stoicism is all about virtue, reason, and aligning with nature, which in modern terms basically means control what you can. Don't spiral over what you can't. And don't lose your cool just because the barista spelled your name Greg with 3 Gs. Think of it like the original mental health toolkit. No subscription required. We're talking about heavy hitters like Seneca, the guy who said, you suffer more in imagination than in reality, aka the OG who called out overthinking before it trended on TikTok. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher who basically said, you can't control the world, but you can control your vibes. Marcus Aurelius, literal Roman emperor who still had time to write down thoughts like, the obstacle is the way, while managing a plague and some real Game of Thrones level drama. And we thought we had it rough because our crush left us on red. So why Stoicism now? Because in a world full of distractions, drama, and daily dumpster fires, these ancient thinkers handed us the playbook to stay grounded, focused, and mostly unbothered. Smarks? And no, you don't need to wear sandals or wrestle lions to use it. Ever laid awake at 2 a.m. thinking, what if I fail? What if they hate me? What if my boss calls me out for pretending to understand Excel since 2019? Congratulations. You've unlocked a bonus level of mental suffering. Enter Seneca, first-century philosopher, stress whisperer, and basically the Dr. Phil of ancient Rome, but with better quotes and fewer awkward TV moments. Boom. That's the tweet. Seneca was out here dropping bars before mental health Twitter even existed. He's basically saying, your brain is a drama queen. Half the stuff you stress over doesn't even happen. The other half, you've already survived worse. You just forgot because your brain likes reruns of worst-case scenario, the overthinking edition. Let's break it down. Imagine suffering equals the what-if tornado. Real suffering equals the actual fire. Stoicism? It teaches you to stop running from fires that haven't even started yet. You're not Nostradamus. You don't have to mentally prep for your building collapsing, your partner dumping you via meme, or your avocado toast causing financial ruin. Seneca's point? Stop letting your thoughts bully you. Reality is hard enough. No need to rehearse misery like it's a school play. So next time your brain starts writing a Shakespearean tragedy about how your friend hasn't texted back in 12 minutes, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this real, or am I just binge-watching anxiety reruns in my head again? Seneca would want you to unsubscribe from that mental newsletter. Imagine giving Socrates an iPhone. He logs onto Twitter, sees a debate thread about pineapple on pizza, a guy trying to sell crypto wisdom, and a hot take that Plato was mid. He shuts the phone off immediately and says, know thyself. Translation: bro, maybe you don't need to post every intrusive thought you've ever had. Here's the thing. Ancient philosophers didn't have Instagram, TikTok, or 5G, but they still knew that how you present yourself matters. Socrates wasn't just telling you to know your soul. He was basically subtweeting all of us. Don't get so lost in your online persona that you forget who you actually are. And while we're at it, can we talk about the fire hose of info we scroll through daily? Socrates warned, the unexamined life is not worth living. Yet here we are, absorbing 300 opinions a day and questioning exactly none of them. A hot take isn't a philosophy, and reposting a quote doesn't mean you've lived it. Next time you're halfway through a thread called Signs You Might Be a Time-Traveling Lizard Person, maybe pause and ask, is this information helpful? Or is my brain just chewing on digital junk food again? The digital world isn't the enemy, but it is a wild, unexamined jungle out there. The challenge? Staying grounded when the algorithm is trying to sell you enlightenment and edible mascara at the same time. But hey, the Stoics would have scrolled too, but only mindfully, probably muted half of Rome. So how do we stay human in the age of avatars, filters, and FOMO? Look, I get it. Someone comes at you sideways in the group chat, and suddenly you're typing like your thumbs are fueled by vengeance and cold brew. But then, like a philosophical mic drop from 100 AD, Epictetus strolls in and says, "He who angers you controls you." Translation: if someone can push your buttons that easily, maybe they're the ones holding the remote. Beat. Oof. You mean that dude who made a snarky comment on your story? Yeah, he's now low-key living rent-free in your head because your ego put out a welcome mat. Epictetus wasn't saying, never feel emotions. He was saying, don't hand your piece over like it's a free trial. Stoicism is like the ancient version of protect your energy memes, but with more sandals and fewer moon crystals. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to clap back. Sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is mute. Not out of pettiness, out of power. Epictetus would look at your toxic ex, your keyboard warrior coworker,
sometimes even to live is an act of
NFTs
courage.
are the future, and just shrug, because getting angry doesn't hurt them. It just chains you to their nonsense. So the next time someone
The
tries to
essence of
hijack
Seneca's
your
message
mood,
teaches
like
us
they're
that
starring in
life
their
is
own
filled
reality
with challenges.
show called
It's
Keeping
not
Up with
about
the
changing
Chaos.
what happens
Remember,
to us, but how we
let's talk about
respond.
failure. You know, that thing you pretend didn't happen while aggressively posting hashtag blessed
Imagine
content
losing your
online.
toga at a
Yeah.
public event.
Marcus
Instead of
Aurelius saw you
despair,
coming.
embrace
This
the
Roman
opportunity
emperor
for laughter.
who literally ran an empire while fighting wars and journaling like a self-help guru, once said, the impediment to action advances
While we cannot
action.
control
What
everything,
stands
we
in the
can
way
control
becomes the
our
way,
reactions.
aka
Embracing
the
this
obstacle
philosophy can lead
is
to
the
resilience.
way. No, that's not the name of a lo-fi playlist. It's a mindset that slaps harder than your morning coffee. You didn't get the job? Boom. You
So,
learned what to
life,
fix.
1 minute
Your
you're sipping iced
situationship
coffee,
ghosted
scrolling
you.
through memes, and the next,
Congratulations.
boom, your
You
car
just
breaks
dodged
down,
a
your phone
therapy
dies,
bill.
and your ex just
Life
posted
threw
a
a
thirst
brick at
trap
your
with your
plans.
worst enemy.
Build a
Tragic.
better one with it.
But what if we told
Marcus
you the
wasn't
ancient
preaching
world had a
toxic
cheat code for
positivity.
this chaos?
He wasn't saying
Enter the Stoics.
pretend everything's
Basically the
fine.
OG mental
was
health
saying
influencers who
everything is
didn't
fuel.
have TikTok
Your
but
stress,
somehow nailed
your
emotional
setbacks,
resilience
that
without the
awkward
help of
moment you
guided
tried to
meditations
high-five
narrated
someone
by Harry
and they hugged
Styles.
you instead. It's all part of the plot.
This quote is
Stoicism
simple but
teaches that
savage.
life isn't
Stop
about
wasting
perfect
energy on
conditions.
stuff you can't
It's about
control.
adapting,
Can't fix your
responding,
boss's mood,
and leveling up.
not your circus.
Even when you
Can't
feel
stop
like you're
Mercury
starring in a
from
sitcom
retrograding every
written by
time you make
chaos
plans,
itself.
not your
So
planet,
next
not
time
your
life
problem.
drop kicks you, don't say,
Here's the
"Why
Stoic
me?"
life hack.
Say,
Imagine
"Thank
you're
you
in
for
a
the
video
plot
game.
twist."
You
Because in the
control your
Stoic
character.
playbook, your worst
That's it.
moments,
You can't hack
yeah,
the game to stop
they're the
raining.
main
You
character
can't
energy
control the
you were waiting
NPCs, aka other
Memento
people.
mori,
But you
Latin
can
for,
decide if your character
remember,
freaks out
you will
or
die.
levels up.
Chill vibes, right?
Okay,
Before
let's say
you
you're
start
stuck in traffic,
spiraling,
late for a
hold
job
up.
interview, and you
This
just
isn't
spilled
some
coffee
emo
on your
Tumblr
only
quote.
I'm
This is the
employable
Stoic
shirt.
version of
Rage
Why
mode,
Low, but with
activated.
depth and a lot less bad decision-making. The idea behind memento mori
This
isn't to be
quote?
morbid. It's to wake you up.
Basically
Like,
the Stoic
hey,
version of
life
suck
isn't
it
a
up,
dress
buttercup,
rehearsal.
except it's
This is
also
the play.
weirdly
And
empowering.
spoiler alert,
Let's
nobody
talk
gets
drama.
out alive. So,
You're in a group
why
chat
waste
civil
time
war.
doom scrolling?
One friend
Why
went
stay
nuclear,
mad at that guy
screenshots
who
were
took your
shared, and
charger
now you're
in
being guilted into
2016?
choosing sides.
Why put off chasing dreams?
You ever send out
just
a
because
dozen job
Netflix
apps
dropped
and
another
get
season?
ghosted harder
The
than a
Stoics
Tinder match
believed
from
that remembering your
2021?
mortality wasn't depressing. It was liberating. Every day is a gift. Every moment is a flex.
Okay,
Because
let's
if you know
unpack
your
this with the
time's
emotional
limited,
depth of a
you
BuzzFeed
stop
quiz.
wasting it on dumb stuff. That argument you're replaying? That grudge you're nursing like it's a baby Yoda? That dream you keep saying you'll chase someday? Memento Mori says,
Coming in
do
hot
it now,
with what sounds
or
like it should be
don't.
printed on a
But
mug
stop
at a
lying to
self-help
yourself
retreat,
about
but actually
having
packs
forever.
the punch of a
When you
Kanye
realize
tweet
you're not immortal,
pre-2016.
things get clear. You don't have time to impress people you don't like. You do have time to pursue what matters. And if you're afraid of failing, guess what? Everyone
Out here
ends up
telling
dead
us to
anyway.
be rock solid,
So go out
literally.
swinging. Memento Mori. Not a threat, a reminder.